On a mist-shrouded morning at the very edge of the Roman Empire, a single spark of defiance was quietly being fanned into flame, a flame that would soon engulf all of Britannia. But who would dare ignite such a blaze against the seemingly invincible Roman legions? Who would risk everything, knowing their rebellion might be crushed in blood and tears? It was here, on these rugged, windswept shores, that one woman would emerge to declare defiantly, no more. Her name was Boudicca, Queen of the Iceni, a woman whose spirit burned brighter than any fire the Romans had yet seen. For 2 decades, since Emperor Claudius had first stepped upon Britannia's shores in 43 AD, the proud Celtic tribes had watched with wary eyes. They saw their lands carved into Roman provinces, their people enslaved or conscripted, their traditions disregarded by foreign rulers. The Iceni, pragmatic yet fiercely independent, had initially chosen accommodation, paying tribute in exchange for autonomy. But beneath this uneasy peace, resentment simmered, and the death of Iceni King Prasutagus in 60 AD proved to be the spark needed to set Britannia aflame. Prasutagus had been a wise man, knowing the empire's hunger for land and gold. He bequeathed half his kingdom to the Emperor Nero and half to his daughters, hoping to ease his people's integration into Roman rule. But Rome was never satisfied with mere half measures. As soon as Prasutagus was laid to rest, Roman officials descended upon Iceni lands like vultures upon the dead. They seized properties, plundered treasures, and brutalized the royal family. In a cruel demonstration of dominance, Queen Boudicca herself was publicly flogged, and her daughters subjected to unspeakable indignities. The Romans, in their arrogance, had underestimated the consequences of humiliating such a proud queen. For Boudicca, it was no longer a matter of tribute or treaties. It was personal. With wrath blazing in her eyes, she roused her people to arms, proclaiming that liberty was worth the highest cost. Her call echoed across the plains and forests, igniting fury among her kin and kindling hope among the oppressed. Boudicca's rebellion spread swiftly. The neighboring tribe of the Trinovantes eagerly joined her ranks, long resentful of Roman abuses. Soon, an army swelling into tens of thousands, an unstoppable tide of vengeful Celts, surged southward. Meanwhile, the Roman governor, Gaius Suetonius Paulinus, was campaigning far in the west, near the sacred Isle of Anglesey, oblivious to the storm about to break. With ruthless speed, Boudicca struck at Camulodunum, modern-day Colchester, a potent symbol of Roman might. Panic gripped the city as pleas for aid reached Londinium, yet Rome's response was callously indifferent. A mere handful of poorly armed auxiliaries arrived, too late and too weak to halt the wrath of the Britons. Camulodunum fell in flames, its inhabitants slaughtered or enslaved, the streets littered with corpses, an ominous warning etched into the smoldering ruins. When news of the carnage reached Londinium, Paulinus hastily returned eastward, only to find his forces scattered and unprepared. Recognizing the impossibility of holding the city without his legions, he made the grim decision to abandon Londinium, withdrawing north along the strategic road known as Watling Street. Londinium was left defenseless, and Boudicca showed no mercy. The city was razed, its streets awash with blood, its skyline reduced to ashes. Verulamium followed swiftly, another city sacrificed to the queen's fiery justice. But Paulinus was cunning. A seasoned commander, he meticulously chose his battlefield, a narrow defile backed by dense, impenetrable forests. Here, outnumbered 5-1, the Romans would stand. Behind the disciplined ranks of legionaries from Legio XIV Gemina and auxiliaries hardened by frontier warfare, Paulinus calmly addressed his troops. These barbarians howl with courage born of desperation, but courage alone does not win battles. They have numbers. But we have discipline. Hold your line, trust your brothers, and victory will be ours. Across the field, Boudicca, standing tall in her war chariot, her daughters beside her, thundered, "We fight not for wealth or land, but for freedom. Look at your families behind you. There is nowhere to retreat. We will reclaim what is ours, or we will perish together in honor." Her warriors roared, charged forward, wild and untamed. The charioteers led with a hail of missiles, testing Roman nerves, but soon withdrew to let the infantry surge forth. The earth trembled beneath the weight of their charge, their cries deafening. Yet funneling into the narrow gap, their numbers became their disadvantage. Paulinus's legionaries, disciplined and methodical, held firm, unleashing waves of lethal javelins before engaging in ruthless close combat. Hours passed, a brutal contest of raw bravery against ruthless precision. Slowly, inexorably, Roman training and tactics ground down Celtic valor. The Iceni and their allies found themselves trapped, unable to maneuver, the wagons laden with families blocking their escape. What began as a rebellion born from honor and fury now dissolved into tragic chaos. When the dust finally settled, the field lay thick with fallen Britons, men, women, children, an entire generation extinguished. Boudicca, her rebellion shattered, rode away into legend. Some say she ended her life by poison, defiant to the last, while others claim disease claimed her life in the bitterness of defeat. In the aftermath, Roman vengeance was swift and merciless. Yet Boudicca's legacy was not extinguished with her life. Her rebellion would forever haunt the Roman memory, a poignant reminder of the human cost of conquest. Britannia would remain a restless province, continually reminding Rome of the fierce spirit it could suppress but never fully break. Centuries would pass, and Boudicca's name would resonate still, not merely as a barbarian who dared defy Rome, but as a heroine, a queen who stood valiantly for dignity, honor, and the eternal dream of freedom.